right, in case you missed it yesterday, the Buffalo Bills traded wide receiver Stefon Diggs and a couple late-round picks to the Houston Texans for a 2025 second-round selection. During his 4 seasons with the Bills, Diggs led the NFL in receptions and was 4th in receiving yards, 4th in receiving TDs. Tyler Fulghum, EKD, Joe Fortenbaugh, digging in a little further on the huge trade for the Texans, and the squad is looking for some sound advice from Damian Woody.
I mean, think about where the Houston Texans were 2 years ago. The Houston Texans were a laughingstock in the National Football League, just from the top down. The clown coach are there. Then you bring in DeMeco Ryans. Obviously, you draft C.J. Stroud. And the year they had last year where they go, what was it, 10-7?
Yeah.
They win the home playoff game against the Cleveland Browns. And now they continue the momentum that they've drawn off of 2023. You go out here and you add all the pieces that they've added in the offseason, trading for Joe Mixon. You going out here, you get Danielle Hunter, and now you go out and you trade for Stefon Diggs, still a premier wide receiver. This is a top 3 team in the AFC, in my opinion. They're only going, they're in my opinion.
Obviously, Kansas City.
Kansas City. I'm gonna throw Baltimore in the mix.
Okay, of course.
And then I'm putting the Houston Texans there.
All right, Joe Fortenbaugh, it sounds like Woody would advise you to go over 9.5 wins for the Texans. Are you with him?
I am not. No.
Ooh.
That doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to bet the over or bet the under, but I mean, is it this easy?
I feel like anytime news breaks, you just go against the grain.
Think about the thought process here. Everybody loves this team, right? So let's ask what Buffalo is doing. Buffalo just took on a $31 million dead cap charge, which is what they're paying their quarterback this year. $31 million dead cap charge to get rid of this guy, who also was in Minnesota, and they wanted to get rid of him. 31 years old in November, numbers in decline, problem in the locker room. Interesting. Now, he should probably play well for him, but what people are overlooking, let's go into the analytics. 7-3 in one-score games last year. Interesting. Top 5 in turnover differential. That tends to regress as well, whether it's on the high end of the spectrum or the low end of the spectrum. And anyone want to look at the schedule? They're going to play Baltimore, Kansas City, Detroit, Green Bay, Dallas, Miami, Buffalo, the Jets, the Bears. That's before I mentioned 2 with the Jaguars and 2 with the Colts. So, yeah, the Texans have been aggressive, and they should be good. But, you know, there are some obstacles there.
They have the 4th hardest schedule, but I'd still take over for their win total. Okay. I mean, Damian Woody makes a great point. 2 years ago, they had 3 wins. Last year, they had 10 wins. Now you add in a guy like Stefon Diggs. Okay, he has age. In the last 7 games of the season, he averaged 41 receiving yards, no touchdowns. Understand that. So maybe we're going off that a little bit. But he still had 6 straight seasons with at least 1,000 receiving yards, not to mention led the league in receptions the last 4 seasons. You factor that in with Nico Collins, Tank Dell. C.J. Stroud was putting up huge numbers. We were looking at him as a rookie, but he was putting up great numbers. So I have high expectations for them. I also think they're top 3 in terms of the AFC.
I'd have to say something. I feel like I just lost that debate because I had notes and you have none. And that was very impressive.
So,
very well done.
Got to go off the brain.
Very well done. I was going to do the whole move before you.
What move?
That's too quick. I was going to move it and then you're going to, and that's going to. That also failed. I'm 0 for 2. No. I'm not falling for that. I am not falling for that.
Well, this definitely illustrates the value of having a quarterback at Stroud's level on that rookie deal. You can bring in Diggs, Danielle Hunter.
Yeah.
You can load up while he's on that rookie contract. Now, what about the Bills side of the equation, boys and girls? Let's start by soliciting some sound advice on the AFC East from that Get Up crew.
Who's the team to beat in the AFC East?
Come on, man. We already know. Gangrene, baby. And I'm not just being a homer.
Take the helmet.
Listen. I'm not being a homer, man. I promise. Hey, Doogie, don't do that to me, son.
I know. That was the biggest helmet we could get.
Right now. Like today. That's all we can go on is today. The Jets got the best roster in the division.
Harry, even though I would prefer to ignore you because it says Buffalo Bills on your name, why do you say the Bills, decimated as they are by departure, as we just showed you, are still the team to beat?
One, I'm looking at their defense. They still have Ed Oliver, Gregory Rousseau. They have the best damn quarterback in the division, y'all. Let's not be silly when we're making these picks.
All right, Harry, the contrarian when it comes to the AFC East. He likes the Bills to win it for a 5th straight year. Do you, Erin?
I do not, and I actually went head-to-head with Harry on this on the radio show at 4 p.m. And the reason being I tried to do the same thing that you always say, Joe, which is just because it hasn't happened doesn't mean it's not going to happen. So
smart.
I'm looking at the Jets in this market. Look, it's April 4th, okay? It's still snowing here in Connecticut. We have a ways to go, so please do not hold me to this.
No,
But
you're locking in now.
On paper, the Jets do have the best roster, and the Bills are taking a step back. And then for the Patriots, they're a long shot. They're out of my mind. Also, Bills taking them off. So then at least we have the Dolphins and the Jets. On paper, the Jets look better than the Dolphins. So I'm going to go with the Jets in this market. I'm not backing the Bills in any of the futures markets this season.
Right, so you don't make money buying high, selling low, right? So this is where we talk about everyone wanting to buy the Texans. When it comes to the Jets, it's a good buy low. Last year, everyone was very excited. Now no one's excited outside of the guys who play for the Jets and the guys who love the Jets. But there's reason to be excited. They're just talking about making a straight pick. We talk about pricing. When you look at the price plus 225, that comes out to a 30% conversion rate. Do we think they win this 30% of the time? That number feels low. Keep in mind, the team got better defensively. They upgraded the offensive line. Rodgers off the Achilles is a concern. But I want to look at uncommon opponents between them, Buffalo, and Miami, right? They're all going to play the same teams except for 3. They have uncommon opponents. The Bills, 3 uncommon opponents. Chiefs, Ravens, Lions. The Dolphins, 3 uncommon opponents. Green Bay, Cleveland, and the Raiders. For the Jets, it's Denver, Minnesota, and a pretty good Pittsburgh team. That could be the difference when we're talking about cashing a division win bet plus 225.
This feels wide open.